Happy Wednesday. Better make sure my volumes are down. I always forget that part. There we go. And waiting for my tablet to catch up. There we go. All right, get my chat pulled up here. Good evening. Just waiting a couple of minutes, see if anyone is going to join me this evening. I'm going to do a technique I learned a few years ago, using a piece of 4¼ by 11-inch piece of paper and a stencil. And this is the, oh, I don't have it handy, hold on, the Wild Petal stencil. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just do some ink blending. We're going to make a couple different cards out of this. I'm kind of eyeballing it tonight. I'm not going to necessarily measure it out, but if you wanted to be precise, you could be precise. I'm just going to put it right smack dab in the middle. And I'm going to grab some Post-it note tape. This is a real quick, fast way to make some cards. All you need is a stencil and a piece of paper, and we're going to make 2-for-1 cards. So I went ahead and grabbed some Simon Hurley inks here. I have Crown Me, which is my favorite, and I have Remember Me. I have Prom Queen, Overzealous, and Guppy. I hadn't decided what all the colors, but I know I'm going to use Crown Me for sure. Now, a couple weekends ago, I got the Ranger Daubers, and I have found I really like them for ink blending. Hi, Heather, how are you? And so I'm going to use those tonight. And I have some that I haven't used yet, but I'm assigning one to each of the colors for the Simon Hurley inks because they're the inks I use the most. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of, you can use an ink, a brush, but I found for sure for heavier coloring, I have found that I can get in a better, deeper color with these daubers, and I really like them versus the flat ones, especially if you're going to do a whole sheet. Now, there's lots of little, and these flowers have lots of little pinholes, or little spots that can catch. So I'm not kind of going all willy-nilly. I'm just kind of going around a little bit here and there. No rhyme or reason. We're just going to put some color down. We might do a little bit of embossing powder. I didn't treat it with embossing or the anti-static powder tool. Okay, so there's our Crown Me. Then I want to do some Remember Me. Once again, since it's birthday month, I'm going to go ahead and make, these are going to be birthday cards. And my birthday was last week, and Penny's is today. If those of you who've seen Penny, and she moderates for us a lot. And then Christopher's is tomorrow. And then I think Gina, who's on the design team, I think hers is on Friday. So I thought this is Remember Me. And I like how they kind of blend together a little bit here. And I thought just for some extra color, we'd add a pop of color. We'd add, like, I think the Guppy. I'm just blending it over a little bit here and there. And then, actually, I think I forgot the dauber for Guppy. Oh, I don't have one for Guppy yet, so I'm going to start a new one. Because I have one for a yellow, but Guppy's a little bit more orangey, so I don't want to use the yellow. I'm just going to put that on there, and we're just going to finish this in. Nice little pops of color here and there. everyone's having a great week. It's Wednesday, so the week is half over already. It is almost 90 degrees here, so it's been quite warm. So I have all the windows open and breeze going. So. All right, so I've got that go ahead and down. Like I said, I taped off the edges because I want that clean edge. I'm gonna just peel these off, and I stick these to the side of my desk, right to the lip of my desk, because I'm gonna use them again. And then, like I said, I was gonna maybe do some ink blend or some embossing powder, but I already took that off. So here's my card. So now what I'm gonna do, my panel is, this is a 2-for-1. I'm gonna go ahead and put it, and like I said, this is 4 1/4 by 11. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my trimmer, and I'm gonna cut this down at 5 1/2. And now I have 2 panels. And I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut this down a little bit because I want to mat it. I'm gonna cut it down to 5 1/4. These are gonna be some quick, fun cards tonight. And then we'll cut it down a little bit off each side to about 4. Oops, I did not get that straight. This one over to 4. Heather, I'm in Iowa as well. I'm in the northeast corner, right on the Mississippi River. So it is very warm though, and I'm not a warm girl. It's hot. The breeze has been helpful, but I don't like the mug. I'm not a muggy girl, I guess I should say. So when it gets a little muggy, it's not my thing. So it's warm. But that breeze helps, so that's nice. Okay, so we've got these 2 cut down. I already have some black scrap cardstocks cut down as well. These are just like I made some card bases once and they cracked, so I cut them in half and I put them in as my bases. So we're gonna mat those, but first I want to put a birthday sentiment on this, and then I'm also gonna put a black thing. Okay, yeah. So East Central in the Mississippi. Okay, so we're not too far away, Heather. I'm north of Dubuque, and it is 76 is what it says. About 2 o'clock this afternoon, I looked out on the bank clock and said it was like 86, 87, but now the sun's going down. It's getting a little cooler, so that's nice. So to finish this off a little bit, I feel like we could just stamp the birthday sentiment here. It depends on the sentiment you have. But I think I want to add a little stripe. So we're going to do a black stripe here. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. This is just plain old scrap. And cut that down quick to... I'm going to do a wider strip. I think we'll do about 1/2 inch. And then I'll cut it down to 4. Cut this one down to 4, and we'll glue those down. And we'll stamp our sentiment. So now here's what we have to decide is, do we want our sentiment to be in black, or do we want to use one of the colors from our card? So that is where you can make that decision. I'm leaning towards a color. Since we're gonna have a lot of black, I'm gonna flip this one upside down. You could flip it sideways actually even too. So I wanna go ahead and get these on my bases. I'm gonna cut this down just a little bit because there's a little bit of fuzz on the side here. Just clean it up a little bit. So it's just a little bit shy of 4 1/4. And a little bit shy of 5 1/2. We'll go ahead and cut this one off. So 70s are perfect. I kind of like 70s. I don't need it to be too much warmer than that. 75 maybe gets the hottest. I'd like it. Alright, so we've got those. So I'm going to go ahead and get these to put down onto my card or my panels first. I may not put these on card bases till later. just because, you know, that just adds to the time. We all know how to put cards on card bases. And eyeball it as best I can from where I'm at my ankle. So I am super happy though that it's April. I'm glad that it's got hot because morel mushrooms should be popping here pretty soon, and I love them, and I can't wait to be able to go out and pick some and eat them. And I like wearing dresses. So hi Mackie, how are you this evening? I am just lining up this base, which I didn't line it up 100%, so since I have a little bit extra, we're going to cut it down a little bit. We're making a 2-for-1 card. I took a flat card base, and I put my stencil right in the middle and ink blended it. And then I cut it in half, and I'm just putting on some black mats. And we're going to put some birthday sentiments on here, and we'll have a couple. Well, that's good. It's good to hear. A happy Wednesday. I think I'm going to use the ATG gun because it's a nice flat thing. I love doing this, making cards quick. I don't do it super often because I forget about it. It's been a while anyway since I've done this, but it makes some fun, easy, fast cards. Okay, this one's a little bit short, so let's see. This one might be, yeah, this one looks better here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that one on here. Hopefully that looks straight. Okay, and then we'll get this one on here. Oh, thank you. This is Guppy, Remember Me, and Crown Me from Simon Hurley. You know, my favorite inks. I know I wanted to use purple, and I wanted to kind of use more of a teal than a blue. Not quite straight. Not quite straight. Can I move it just a little bit? There we go. And then I wanted to throw in a pop of color. So they started, I cut them in half, and I have 2 cards. I can do them like this. I can do one like this. And I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do one this way and one this way. So let's get out our Misty here. The one nice thing about Simon's inks is you pretty much can put all of them together, and they will always blend well. It doesn't matter what colors they are. Now, I just went through my stash. This is just an old stamp set that I had in my stash. That's just a basic birthday stamp set. I wanted to just find something different I hadn't used in a while, or hadn't used at all. I want a very basic. Mackie, it's not even my idea, to be honest with you. I learned it in a stencil class. I don't know, I think it was maybe one of the online classes like Jennifer McGuire and Christina Warner taught a few years ago, and they did something similar. I don't know if they did stencils or if they did stamps. I think she did stamps, where she stamped on both sides, and I thought, well, I can do that with my stencils. So I've been doing that for a long time now here with my stencil. It's just to make 2 cards, because, you know, sometimes we need that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use a fun ink instead of black, because we have all that black, and we're just going to use the Crown Me. And I just, like I said, a very basic sentiment. You wouldn't have to put it there. You could have put it down in the corner. You could have heat embossed it with white right on the black. I haven't used this stamp yet, and one of my goals this year is to start trying to use more stamps that I haven't used, whether they're stamps or sets. So there we got our first card. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off, and we'll grab a different happy birthday sentiment. This time I think I'm going to grab one from the All Occasions Greetings. The Occasional Greetings. And very easy to do for any type of, you could make any kind of card out of this. An anniversary card, a baby card, a birthday card. You know, use fall colors and make a Thanksgiving card. And then, since I'm going to do landscape here, throw it in right here. It just fits. Just fits. put that one up just a little bit higher. Make sure it fits. And I think this one will use the Remember Me. You can put these together fairly quickly and you'd have a whole set. If you could use different stencils and the same colors, and that way, you know, somebody, if you want to give somebody a gift set of cards, they would have a whole set of whether they wanted to be birthday cards, or you could do different sentiments on them. You could have stamped this on a black circle and popped it up, you know, or a white circle on a black mat. There we go. We got Happy Birthday to You. So here we are, our first 2 panels done. So I'm just going to wipe that off, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do it with a different stencil this time. We're going to use the other stencil from this month. So let's put those to the side. And we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to do it this way. Now, this stencil is a little more delicate, so I am going to quick throw some pixie spray on it so it sticks down. This is a 8.5 by 5.5, so this will be, you know, different. It just lines up differently. Like I said, I'm going to kind of eyeball this. This gives you a completely different look because you have a little bit less white space. Just trying to line it up kind of straight. Now this one is going to look differently because when we cut it, we've got the dragonfly on the one side and the flowers on the other. Grab some Post-it note tape. I can't believe that we're almost to the middle of April already, and it's, you know, May is going to be here before we know it. And I mean, my kids are older and grown, but school's going to be getting out and it's going to be crazy. So I think for this one we're going to do a little bit different. I am going to use the Remember Me, and like I said, I like these daubers, and I'm just going to kind of lightly, I don't want to move my stencil too much, but I am going to, there's a lot of extra white space on this stencil, so we are going to go around the whole image. And it doesn't, I'm not going perfect, I'm just going to make it kind of light here and there, but I want the blue around the dragonfly, or the tea, I guess this is a tealy color. You could go in and, when I did this, I used this one, I actually masked off a bunch of areas, and I went in and I did small blending brushes and different spots, but I think this will just be fun. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit on the blue on this flower here, because I love the Crown Me and the Remember Me together. They make a real fun color. So we're just going to, around these little bit more delicate areas, I'm kind of just twisting a little bit. It's giving me a little bit of a mark there, but I can make that, we can make that soften up just by grabbing a little bit more and kind of, you know, circle mark. All right, there we go. And we're going to go ahead and grab some of this Crown Me. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in some of this flower here. Overlap just a little bit. And look at the color right there. Isn't that really pretty? So we'll make the top of the dragonfly a little bit more of that purpley blue. And then we're going to blend it in here a little bit with this flower. We might only use 2 colors on this one. Go ahead and make the flowers. I'm actually going to go ahead and make the flowers purpley blue right there. And then we'll add a little bit more blue to that. And sorry, I'm not talking too much right now. It's been a long week for me. I feel like it's because the weather's turned so much. I've been tired. I don't know if with the holiday, it didn't really, and I didn't do much. I stayed home, but did a lot of walking and exercising with the pup, and a lot of crafting over the weekend. I got a bunch of projects done. I'm gonna next week go away for a few days, and I'm trying to get some projects caught up so that I can have some fun next weekend. So it's been pretty low-key week here. Yeah, I think we'll just use these two colors. So there's this one isn't all the way down, so I'm trying to make sure it doesn't plop up and, you know, ruin the design here. So sometimes I don't like to, I like to go just like maybe one direction on those, or like I said, twist around them a little bit. All right. So I think now this one might be fun to go ahead and add some embossing powder to. Now, like I said, I did not treat this with an anti-static powder tool. So they're gonna be somewhere I don't necessarily want it, but that I'm okay with. So, and then I can see here where I did move that, so we'll probably fix that here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab, make sure I get icicle this time. The last time I grabbed icicle, I thought I grabbed white. I do love this stencil. It's very fun. This flower is just really pretty right there. And then, you know, the dragonfly and the sun, so unexpected. So I do like to be able to use embossing powder with Simon's inks. They stay wet just a little bit. Ooh, breeze is blowing my embossing powder back on me. And the window open across from me here. Okay. So this will be nice and shiny, and then we'll cut this down. And this is a fun way to use a 6x6 stencil. Because, you know, sometimes when, especially a lot of people make A2 size cards, and your 6x6 stencil, you have to choose what spot you want, or you make a whole background and you cut down areas. Well, if you do this, you can make 2 cards out of it. Sorry, just got a lot of embossing powder there. Let's go ahead and grab our pink one. We'll heat this up. So I'm just going to heat it off to the side a little bit. I just kind of do it on my arm, just a little bit, until it gets hot, and then kind of hard to see on camera because it is a clear, but it goes from dull to shiny. So I just have to tilt it a little bit, especially when you use like the icicle ink. Stand up so I can kind of look in the light a little easier. Actually, I have this little handy flashlight right here I would grab for something, so I'm just going to kind of peek at it. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. That looks pretty good. All right. Now we'll cut this down. Ugh. Oh, hi, Mom. You were fine. You were, what did man... I know, Swiffer Ducks. I have... Thanks, Mackie, for reminding me. I have one in my bin here, and I have a whole box of them underneath my desk. I have found that if I leave a towel on my desk, it's the first thing my puppy goes for. And he gingerly picks it up with the tip of his mouth and runs into the other room, and then I have to chase him down. And, you know, a lot of them have ink on them, so I don't want him necessarily to do that. So, what did Annie make for dinner tonight, Mom? All right, so we're going to cut this down in half. So this is, like I said, 8.5 by 5.5. So we're going to cut this down at 4 1/4, which is going to change the pattern of this so much. So there. So now look at our two cards. You got the flowers on the one and the dragonfly on the other. And I think once again, I am going to cut these down to 4 by 5 1/4. Grilled burgers and hot dogs. One of my favorites. I love burgers. We had amazing little hot dish type casserole. Tom cooked squirrel and deboned it and put it in the crock pot with some tomatoes and some of the green beans and Minnesota wild rice, and it was just delicious. Well, that's good. She said he was eating better. All right, so I cut down, and see the difference when you do it with the 8.5 by 5.5 versus the 4.5, the white space difference. There's a lot more white space than there is on this one, which I think is fun. That's just a different interpretation of it. So I think once again, we're going to put these on some black mats. We're going to tie them all together. Oops, got too many here. That breeze that's coming in is just getting... So, Mom, did you get to go for your walk? I know you guys talked about it, but I didn't know if you did. So, I did not go for a walk tonight. I went for a walk last night when I got home. My boss, let me close up half an hour early because of the weather, both tonight and last night. And I took the pup for a walk. He had already gone for a walk with Tom earlier in the day, but I took him again just to get a little bit of extra wiggles out of him, and we walked down to the school, which is 8 blocks from here or so and back, and he laid down about a block from home and wouldn't move. I couldn't pull him, nothing, and I was like, Pop, I can't carry you, you're too heavy. So I got him to move now about half a block, and then he laid down again. So I just sat down, I squatted down next to him, kind of, I really had nowhere to sit. I wasn't going to sit in the grass. I had a dress on. I just kind of sat with him for a few minutes while he got tired up, and then I said, should we go home and see Daddy? And he got all excited, and we came home, and he was out like a light for the rest of the night. So, good, Mom. Good. I'm glad you guys finally are getting some nice weather up there. So, I hate to ask this, but do you still have snow? And the reason I don't want to, I'm asking is because our path that I like to take the dog on is underwater right now. So, just curious to know how much more might be coming our way. All right, this is my way of fixing it when I don't have it straight. I line up the edge. I line up the edge of my panel with this guide, and that way, if I don't have it straight, I can cut other pieces off. So, it never looks straight to me. Nothing ever looks straight to me. Okay, yeah, see, I feel like it's not straight, but I think it is. Okay, so now, here's where we can add another little line, and I think that's what we're going to do. I might have to grab 2 pieces though, but we're going to cut this way low. I want this short. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off just, try to get it as straight as I can. Line it up right at the edge. Trimmer. And I'm going to try to do that one more time. Sorry if I'm off camera a little bit. Just lining this up in the... Good, Mom, I'm glad. Yeah, it got warm. I mean, it was beautiful, but it got warm today. So, yeah, I didn't quite, but that's okay. That's going to be a little awkward back in there. So I didn't quite get that straight, so we're just not going to use that piece. I will cut another piece. I'm going to go ahead again and put this one on here, and we're going to go ahead and stamp our sentiment. I'm going to put this on first, and I'll have to grab another piece of paper and cut that down. When I do this, I just add a lot of glue all the way on both sides. Try to get it so that it's gonna maybe hit both corners, and then line it up so that it's extra. So we'll line this up and use a grid. I'm going to line it up using, excuse my head a second, that line. Get that pushed down. And then I'm going to let that dry for a minute and we will cut. I want this one just a little bit thinner. And I have my other trimmer, but it needs a new blade, so I don't want to leave little furries. So I'm just going to go ahead and line this up. I just want to cut off a little bit because I don't want it quite as thick as the other one. We're just going to move it over a little bit, just so it's straight. And then we can line that up. There we go. And add some glue to this one. Like I said, this is another one of those where you can do it both directions. I'm going to go ahead and add this on. Oh, we got to line that up again. This is such a fun way. You can do this with glazes. I did not do that tonight just because it's so hard to have glazes dry, you know, when you're live. I don't think this black line is completely straight, but we're going to make it work. Line it up based on, yeah, it's not completely straight. There we go. We'll see if that works. Let that dry a minute and we'll get these, flip it over, cut them off. I'm actually going to toss this. I'm getting better at tossing some of these smaller scraps. All right. Yeah, that one I don't think is straight at all. Oh, that might just go in my, that's my extra bin. So I'm gonna pull ahead and pull this stamp off and stick it on a block here because I gotta clean it. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp a sentiment on there. I think for this one I'm gonna use, this is Sharon's script. It is in stock in there, and I like the script of it. We'll go ahead and throw a happy birthday on there. Like I said, that is not a straight. We may have to fix this. I might put this down towards the bottom so I can fix this with a better black line, because that is not straight. And it's going to drive me nuts. And I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Remember Me. Actually, it's close to the Remember Me. We're going to use the Crown Me. And I think I just changed my mind again. After the Crown Me, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to stamp it with the Remember Me and get that kind of dual color, which is kind of fun. It's, like I said, another reason I love these inks. So easy for them to mix. I'm just going back and forth between the Remember Me and the, oh, this is Triple Berry. I have the Crown Me and the Triple Berry. I just happened to notice this says Triple Berry. We're going to have to fix that. So there is that. We're going to grab this one. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the same thing on this one. That is surprising. I did not notice that I put them on the wrong ones. Triple Berry is a lighter, pinkier color than the Crown Me. The Crown Me is a purpler, is more purple, dark purple. I'll go ahead and grab that. We'll show the difference here. I think that moved just slightly, so we're going to be careful there. There we go. So we've got those two. And we got, you could add some gems, some other bling to the card. I've done that where I've just added a few bling to the side. So far, we've got 4 birthday cards. And so we'll grab one more stencil and we'll get one more set done. first, we're going to change because I do want to use the Crown Me. All right, so my Crown Me's and my Crown Me, my Triple Berries and my Triple Berry. So I do need to use another stencil. Those were the stencils of the month. Let me see what else I have very handy here. Let's grab I've got the totally 90 stencil Stanton right here, or let's see. I'm trying to find one that makes a fun pattern. Let's do this one. This is called Groovy Grid. I'm not 100% sure if it's in stock. It's from last year, but I just thought I would show you how you could use any stencil to do this. Grab another piece of paper. So I just took an 8.5 piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, cut it in half. And we'll go ahead and throw this on. This is going to be fun. Ooh, I don't even know if my stencil is clean all the way. But we're going to add some fun color to this one. And we'll make sure we kind of line it up a little bit more in the center. One reason I like to add a border is that if you don't line your stencil up perfectly straight at the bottom, you know, I mean, you should, I'm gonna actually, that's not the right tape. We're going to tape my paper to the mat with some, sorry about that, horrible. This is just some double stick tape. I'm gonna go ahead and line that up straight so that we get this on here straight. And just, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is pretty close to being in the center of the card base. Just kind of mask off those areas. You wouldn't even have to mask off the areas if you used pixie spray. You could totally ink blend that down and have just that tiny little white line from the stencil, which would be kind of a fun different thing too, but I want to mask them off here. So this time we are going to use the Crown Me instead of the Triple Berry. It's a darker purple. And I think what we'll do instead of the Remember Me, maybe we'll throw some pink in here. How does that sound? All right, so there's the Crown Me. We got Prom Queen here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a dauber for that. That's the Prom Queen. I'll make sure I'm actually using Prom Queen, since I must have dropped them and mixed them. And we got that. It's just fun colors. Fun, fun, fun colors. So nothing fancy for this technique tonight. Just quick, fast cards. You know, you can do this with, like I said, any kind of stencil. A circle stencil would work. Gonna blend a little bit more here, so we got a couple of the colors overlapping. And that's just, that's how fast it moves. So there we go, pull that off. And like I said, you know, 6x6 stencils, you know, a lot of times we cut them down. Now we're going to use them in both. So we'll just put that off to the side and we'll go ahead and cut this down. You wouldn't have to mat this. You could leave a full card panel. Take my double-sided tape off, but I like the matting of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half at 4 1/4. then you have two card bases. You can flip them this way, they can go this way, you know, all sorts of them. I am going to cut them both down a little bit. Like I said, I like to have them matted on the black when I do this, or on, it'd be fun to be on a purple or a pink color. I can see if I have those colors handy. And I'm just trimming off a little, kind of like halfway between, using the boxes to do that. But when I trim the bottom here, I am trimming off more of the white, so that it's full. I like to have a lot of that pattern. So yeah, so this is at 5.5, and I just kind of go halfway between the two, and I trim it down. This is a good way to just make some card panels if you aren't quite sure what you want to make. You know, your mojo isn't quite working with you. You can make a bunch of card panels and have them ready to go. And all you need is some sentiments, or you could stamp, throw an image on there. For example, you know, I could, this is an image I have left from, you know, I can go ahead and throw him on here quick and happy birthday, you know. I'm saving him for something else though. I'm not going to put that on there tonight. But we will go ahead and throw a couple more birthday sentiments in here. I'm going to leave it right where it's at, but I do need to make sure it's clean because we're using different colors. I'm just wiping it off here. Actually, may do some squeaky clean here. I'm getting low on my cinnamon heart. Well, it's my favorite. I love the smell of it. It smells like big red gum. And I love bubble gum. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp it with the pink. I'm going to go over quick to my stash of card bases, panels that I just have off to the side, and we will mat these couple. Now this one, I'm going to change around a little bit. We're going to do this one this way. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And I'm going to put a teeny tiny greeting on this one. Just grabbing the stamp set. Just put it away the other day. Just a second. It fell all the way to the back of my panel. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the birthday tags. If you haven't, you should check out there's different ones with the different tags. They have these amazing ones for different seasons. And I've got birthday hugs and kisses, happy birthday, make a wish on your special day, celebrate in style, and birthday wishes. I'm going to grab the birthday wishes. We're just going to stamp it right here. The nice thing about having these cards done is that I can throw a balloon on them if I really want to. I don't know if I want I'm going to do the purple on this one. Like I said, or a birthday hat if you really wanted to. You know, you go through your, like I said, your stash and add kind of an image quick, and you have it pretty much ready to go. Or do a some die cut flowers, and they just add a little bit of something extra. So there we have birthday wishes. Like I said, I'm determined to make birthday cards this month. So we've got those. Let's grab some paper. So I have a bin where I cut down a bunch of card stock that is like not very the nicest card stock. It's not very thick card stock, or it was part of something else. Like I originally had this made for a card base, but it's flimsy in my opinion, so I will use a piece for that. So, and I'm thinking that might be the perfect color. This is just some old big box paper, and then I just have bunches of colors. Here's kind of a purpley blue. That's not quite right. So that's a pretty dark purple, but I think that might work. And I just keep them cut, or if I make if I decide not, I mean, I've been card making for years, so some of these are old card bases that I decided I don't make colored card bases very well. And I mean, this is very thin paper, so rather than throw it out, I just made them into panels. It's a good way to use that up. I can use it to layer. Cut this down. I was a cheerleading coach for 4 years at my local school here when my kids were in school. So I have a ton of like probably 60-pound cardstock that I got when I was making locker signs and decorations for the school. At one point we were making locker signs for everybody, for all the sports and all the activities. And we started like, okay, well, I have all this neon paper left. So the band got little, I had to use my Cricut machine, and I had cut out like clarinets for the clarinet players and this and that, and we put them up on their lockers. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to use the shiny paper. And that one. And then we're gonna use the purple for this one. And it's not quite perfect, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on, and then I'll cut it down. And my tape gun just ran out, so we're going to use liquid glue. I don't normally use liquid glue. My card bases, I like tape gun. And I'm going to match up these two corners and the edges as best I can. So we could add another strip right there if we want. I think I'm going to leave the nice clean edge on this one. These corners here, and just kind of make sure it's even, because you know, straight lines is not that is one thing I struggle with, straight lines. Okay, I'm going to cut down the side a little bit because it's not quite in the center. Looks pretty good there. Add this. I am not outside, but I do have my window open. Is it very loud? I can shut that. It got warm in my office. My office is a little front porch, and it's quite loud, but I can shut my window here. There, that might help, because my window is like about that far away, so hopefully that helps. But I also have, you know, it could be, hopefully it's not my microphone. So I hope that's better, Mackie. I've been talking with Mackie and about lives and my setup and this, and I told her, I said, so like, for example, Mackie, I have my old phone right, and this is my phone, and I use this to read my chat. And I have my old iPhone up in my stand above, and then I have a tablet right here that has a video. And the only reason is because I bought a new tablet at Christmas this year and found out it's a Kindle, and I cannot see the chat on it. I could on my old Kindle, but not on the new Kindle. So in order to see the chat, I need to use my phone, but I don't want to put my phone all the way up here. So I like just keep my phone down here so I can see the chat, and then oh yeah, Mackie, if I was outside right now, things would be blowing all over the place because it is quite windy. We are in a red warning for fire hazards through 8 o'clock tonight because it's been pretty windy. The door opened at work 2 or 3 times today when the wind came through. So, all right, so we have 10 minutes left, but I thought we could go over these quick again. Our cards. We've got several cards done using this technique, and one stencil and one piece of paper, cut it down. You know, so this one, like I said, this was the Serenity stamp that we did, you know, and on the half sheet of paper right in the center, cut it down in half and matted it on. I also did some embossing with the icicle. Oh, and this is all Simon Hurley inks. And then this is the Wild Petal stencil. And this one I did on a 4¼ by 8½ or 11 and cut it in half. So you see there's a bunch more white space. And then then the last one I did, I just grabbed an older stencil out of my stash and did 2 colors, and I threw these ones on colored cardstock, and I didn't add a little border to it because, I mean, I can add the border to it. I mean, a thin border is very nice, but it's also got kind of like that white clean edge. You could do a bold sentiment. You could do a die cut sentiment in white. These would make really fun eclipse cards. Where you cut out the middle with the die cut and with the big die cut words and cut them in, especially if you could do somebody's name if they had a shorter name, and then leave this blank or put the happy birthday down below. Add die cuts. I can add a couple flowers on here. Here's a sample of if I had a flower I could put in here. That one's not going to work for this one, but I just thought I'd show something kind of fast and simple tonight. Something easy to throw together. If you're going to go to a crop and you really don't want to bring a lot of stuff, bring a few stencils and bring paper and some inks and do this. You could do this, get them all ready, get the panels ready. You wouldn't even have to mat them. Come home and mat them on cardstock and you have a bunch of cards ready to go. So let me know if you want in the comments which one's your favorite. Did you like the 3 colored flowers or the grid one and the colored? But I appreciate you guys joining with me tonight. I'm gonna sign off a little bit early tonight and I will see you next week. I'm not sure what we're gonna play with yet. Maybe the daisy stamps or maybe the paper pad. Do a fun fold. I haven't decided yet, so but thanks for joining me. Please give me a thumbs up if you like it. Remember to create something every day, whether it's some birthday cards like this or your own ending. And don't forget, tomorrow is Christopher's birthday, so stop over on the fan page and wish him happy birthday. Have a great night. Bye.